All right. So welcome everyone. Welcome to the Gate Academy English channel. Okay. So I am Shankar Tripathi, my dear. I am here to welcome you on the Gate Academy channel. And in this video, beta, we are going to talk about the interview skills that will be helpful to you in cracking the PSU technical interview. All right. So in this session, what we are going to talk about in this session, we'll be talking about how we can excel in our interview when we are facing the one of any PSU or any other government organization, right? Right. So I will again welcome you on this channel, the Gate Academy English channel. And before I start with the session, I would like you to request to you to please like and subscribe. To please like and subscribe the channel, because at this channel we are trying to give you so many videos which is helpful in your career, which will be beneficial for your successful career, right? So let's move ahead. So first of all, I would like to introduce myself. So my name is, as you can see, my name is Uma Shankar Tripathi. My name is Uma Shankar Tripathi, and currently I am a PhD scholar. I am a research scholar. What I am a research scholar. Okay, so research scholar, I hope you understand what research scholar is. So research scholar means PhD. Okay, so I am doing my PhD from Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee. Okay, I am on almost on the stage of submission, right? And before it, I completed my MTech from the same institute, that is IIT Roorkee only. Okay. Before MTech, I was working in a company named as Bharat Heavy Electricals Limited. Okay. From there, I switched to MTech and followed it by from the PhD. As far as my teaching career is concerned, I have been into this domain of guiding students from 9 years. Okay. Okay, and with the Gate Academy, I've been associated with almost for 8 years. Okay, now on the basis of my experience and my qualifications, I'll be guiding you in this session about how we can rock the interview. Okay, how we can rock the interview, because see, it is very important. It is very important that we perform very well in the technical rounds of our selection process. Okay, so those who are going to the interview, or those who are expecting the call from any PSU, this session is going to be very useful for them. This session is going to be very useful for them, right? This session is going to be very useful. This session is going to be very useful for them. So what I would like to ask you before I step ahead with this session, that whatever query we have, we can ask me in the chat. Okay, this should be a very interactive session, because see, when we are talking about the interview skills, this is very subjective thing. It depends upon so many factors, which PSU are going for, what is your background, what is your aim, right? Which PSU you have called from. Durgesh, sir, you are asking, sir, strategy for gate, tell me. So, Durgesh, you please do one thing. You subscribe the channel, the Gate Academy, and there you will find so many videos from mine also. In the previous video, I talked about how we can start our preparation of gate examination, and there are other videos as well. So, in this video, the agenda is slightly different. Here, we are not going to talk about how we can prepare for gate examination, but we are going to talk about how we can excel in the technical rounds of interview. Okay, so let's proceed with that. And also, I will request you guys. Very good, Durgesh. Very good. If you have already subscribed, so I hope you have watched the previous video. If not, then please search it. In the video, you will be finding my video only, how to start the gate preparation. You can refer that also. And there are some more videos. Okay. Now, in this video, the agenda is about the technical round, because already we have completed. Lastly, Golov sir has completed the video in which he talked about how the general, what should be the general approach for any of the PSU, for any branch. So that he gave very good suggestions about group discussion, group task, and some general understanding about the interviewing process and how the interview process is conducted, how the interview process is conducted of different PSU. Now, in this session, we'll be targeting for mechanical engineering. This session is exclusively for mechanical engineering. Vaibhav, that is not the agenda actually. You are asking me, sir, what subjects I am going to take. So I'll certainly take some subjects, but that is not very certain. That is what subject I am going to teach. That is not sure till now. Okay. Mostly, if you know me, you know my subjects. So maybe a few of them. And just don't worry. If you are at the Gate Academy, definitely whoever is going to teach you, he'll be teaching you well. Trust us on that. Okay. Okay, so now coming to the point. Now coming to the point. So this video is exclusively for the aspirants who are going for some interview of mechanical engineering, especially for mechanical engineering, right? So now the first question that should be in our mind. So see, I'll be addressing hello Sagar. I'll be addressing in this session that how we can excel in the interview. Now, the first question that comes in the aspirant mind or the student mind is, what about the language? Okay, this is a very important question. Gaurav sir has also spoken about it in the previous video, and I have to speak about it because without this we cannot move further. Okay, now talking about the language, we usually think in a way, sir, what language we should use. Okay, so the first question that come only in our mind, that says, should I speak English only? Should I speak English only? So, beta, it depends. What I suggest, it depends upon what interview you are going to give. Okay, it depends upon. So now, should I speak English? Now there are two questions. Am I comfortable in it? Am I comfortable in it, or I am not? So what I suggest, if you are comfortable in it, then there is no problem. You can speak in English. No issues at all. No issues at all. If you are comfortable in English, you can go ahead with English. You can go ahead with English. And if you are not, or if I am not, then you can switch to Hindi. That is not a problem. That is not a problem. That is not the problem, right? So it is better to, if you are having less command on English, it is always better to switch on Hindi. Okay, there is no one is judging you on the basis of that. Okay, all right. So be assured. Okay, don't be now. Some people, what they do, they before any interview they start practicing English. That is not required at all. So whatever practice you will do, if your interview is like 2 weeks or 3 weeks down the line, then definitely you are not going to get that much confident in a language. It is a language. Okay, so don't try for that. Just stick to Hindi. If you speak in Hindi and if you speak right with all the confidence, that has no problem. Okay. Now there can be one more thing, sir. That is okay. That is fine. That is fine. But if I speak in Hindi, will it affect my chances of getting selected? So the my answer to this, from my experience, because I also have given so many interviews. I have given interview of BPCL, HPCL, BHEL. Okay, so I know the process. I know their point of view. So if you are speaking in Hindi, it is affecting my chances of getting selected. No, it is not. Okay, and if you are not comfortable in English, and if you are speaking in English and you are speaking it like you are not speaking it properly, then that will be more affecting your chances of getting selected rather than you speaking in Hindi. Understand, beta? So don't worry about Hindi, English. Just be comfortable with your language. Language is nothing but just a mode of communication, right? So if the interviewer is able to understand, if the interviewer is able to understand what is your point of view in any language you deliver to it, so that is not the matter. Okay, so it's better to speak in Hindi if you are not comfortable in English, and it is better to speak in English. It vice versa also happens. So some of our students who belong from South India, they are not that comfortable in Hindi. So they may stick to English. They may stick to English. That is also not a problem. That is also not a problem. Getting my point, my dear? Getting my point, my dear? So now, sometimes what happens when we enter the room, the interviewer start speaking English. Then we be in like a dilemma that what we should do. If we are now, let's consider there can be two situations. So if we are comfortable in English, then if the interviewer is speaking in English, then definitely you should reply in English. Only when you are comfortable in it. Because what happens when the interviewer is speaking English, that may be one of the reasons behind it is that in a panel there is someone who is from the region in South India. We know India is so vast, so there may be a panel member who belongs from South India who doesn't understand Hindi. So that can the meaning of it. Now, if you are comfortable in English, then you can speak in English. But if you are not comfortable in Hindi, then you can ask for forgiveness. You can say, "Sorry, sir, I am not that comfortable in English. So if you don't mind, can I speak in Hindi?" This can also be said in Hindi. Okay, sir, I am not comfortable in English, so can I switch to Hindi? So yes, if so definitely if you say so, definitely they will give you the permission. Okay, this is highly unlikely that they will say no, just speak in English, no matter what. Okay, this is highly unlikely. Okay, so definitely they are going to give you this permission to speak in Hindi. But remember, if they are speaking in English, you should be speaking in English if you know it. If you don't know it before switching to Hindi, please remember to ask. Now, there are some more tips that I want to give you to this. So, whenever you enter the panel, whenever you enter the room, so these days you will find female panel members also. So just be aware. You have to address them first. Okay, okay, okay. You have to address them first. Whatever hello, hi, whatever you want to say, you want to address the female members first, even she is not the chairperson. So this is the basic etiquette what you do in your interview. So in the previous session of Gaurav sir, where he discussed about the group discussions, and also he also has mentioned all these points. So you can go through that also. Now there is one question. So in some of the, especially in mechanical engineering, so if interviewer is speaking in Hindi, if interviewer is speaking in Hindi, should I then be speaking in English? So never make this mistake. Never do it. Never do it. Do it only if you are uncomfortable in Hindi. Okay. So there are some PSUs, for example, National Fertilizer Limited. If you know it, NFL. So if your interview is held somewhere in the north region, it is located near in Punjab, near Chandigarh. So if you get a chance to get into the interview of NFL, and if your center is there, so you will see. I went there for a visit once before for some technical guidance. So when I went there, so I saw everywhere it is written that speak in Hindi only. So I asked for some students also. So the feedback they given, so they start with Hindi and they keep up with Hindi. Okay, so they try to stick to the Hindi language. Okay, now if they speak in Hindi, never make this mistake to speak in English. Otherwise, they will ask you to switch to Hindi. Okay, and that will not be a good point. That will not be a good impression of yours. Okay, but if you are not comfortable in Hindi, let's consider if we are not comfortable in Hindi at that point of time, then again you can ask them, sir, that I am from this region, I cannot speak Hindi that well. So if it is fine, I can speak in English. You can ask for the permission of it, right? Right, and you can proceed with your interview. So first of all, do not have that much worry about the language. Okay, just focus upon your technical skills, and you will be fine. Now, how many members will be there? So when we go for the interview, so we will find that mostly in PSUs, the member ranges from 4 to 6 members. There are mostly 4 to 6 members. You will find in the panel. Okay? In the panel, you are going to find almost 4 to 6 members. So this ranges almost for all the PSUs, and it can be even more, like 7 to 8 can be there. 7 to 8 can be there. So why there are 4 to 6 members? Because see, you are going for a very good, highly respected job, and your role will be very, very key to the organization. So definitely they want to hire the right person. Right. Now, in process of that, they ask 4 6 member in the panel. So they belong to different department, different fields of technical, maybe from technical department, maybe from HR department, maybe from some other department, maybe some higher management person. Okay. So why there are 4 to 6 members? Because they want to hire the best for their organization, right? So they will be observing each and everything of you, every way of your speaking, but there is nothing to be afraid about. Okay, just do not worry if there are 4 to 6 members. So sometimes what happens when we come to see 4 to 6 members sitting in front of us, 4 to 6 persons sitting in front of us, and like some type sort of nervousness comes to us. There is so many questions. People are asking questions to us. So never be afraid. Never be frightened. Never be frightened seeing the people. See, it is human tendency. It is human tendency. When we are there for some of the purpose, like for our interview, we want to get selected. So we will be nervous. That is the human nature. Okay, nobody can resist it no matter what to say. Okay, the truth is this, that we'll be nervous, but we have to cope to it. We have to cope to it. And trust me, all the students, you, me, when I get to have some interview, when I was interviewed at the Gate Academy, even I was very nervous. Getting my point? Everyone is nervous. But all you can do is you stick to the point, be focused that whatever is being asked to me, I'll be able to answer. Now, how will it start? Now, how it is going to get started? How it is going to get started? So definitely they are going to ask you about this first. Introduce yourself or tell us something about yourself, right or wrong. The first thing they are going to ask you is introduce yourself. Okay. Now this part is very, very important. So even in the previous video, also some guidance was given, and I want to add to that to some extent. So when we are asked to introduce yourself, try to keep it short. Try to keep it short. Okay, we must try to keep it short. Okay, so we can start with our educational qualification. Okay, definitely by our name, and then with the educational qualification, and where you belong to. Okay, where you belong to, you may skip also, depends. Okay, if you wish to tell them where you belong to, because when you say where you belong to, unless you've been asked about it, so sometimes what happens, they start asking you something famous about your city. As for example, I belong from Lucknow. So if I introduce myself, that my name is Uma Shankar Tripathi, and I have completed my MTech and currently pursuing my PhD from Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee, and I belong to Lucknow. Okay, so this is how I introduce myself. Okay, but when I say I belong to Lucknow, in most of the interview, I was asked about the famous things about Lucknow. What is that famous about Lucknow? Right. Now, if you have good information, always before the interview, always have some information, always go through some information about your city. So I hope you know your city well. Okay. You know your city well, what is famous in your city, what is very exclusive in your city, but do not try to say all the information. See, you have knowledge. If you have knowledge, so you have knowledge, but don't give it, don't give it unless you ask for it. Remember this thing. This is the key of the interview. Okay, this is the key for your interview. If you have the information about something, unless you are asked about it, just do not go and tell about it. Oh, sir, I belong to Lucknow. In Lucknow, the kebabs are very famous. And that is not at all required. unnecessary conversation you must avoid in all the interviews. Okay, so when you complete your introduction, if they want to know furthermore about you, they will ask, so what is your about your family, how many members are there in your family? If they ask, you can tell them, otherwise you can avoid it. No need of it, no need of it. So try to keep it short, try to keep it short. And also do remember, whatever words you are using in your introduction, my name is this, I belong to this college. So when you name your college, you know the information, you know the background about that college also, so that you can, so this gives us, so now see, if like they are asking you something about the city and you are not able to answer that. Okay, so if you are not able to answer anything in the exam, in the interview, first of all, do not panic at that moment. If not, you've been able to answer, say sorry. Okay, no problem. Okay, let's move for the next question. They will move to the next question. But if you are able to answer, then answer it confidently and try to answer at least the basic questions of about your city. If it is being asked before, without asking, don't go for it. Okay, so after you introduce yourself, now the questions may come in, and I tell you very frankly, no one can estimate, no one can anticipate what they are going to ask. This is very subjective. This is very subjective. Depends upon the mood of the interviewee, what his background, what questions he came prepared with. So nobody can actually anticipate it with 100% of guarantee. So this is not the video in which I am going to talk about. I am not going to talk about that what questions are going to get asked. Nobody can anticipate it. Okay. But what blunders we can do, that we should never do. Otherwise, we'll fall like this cartoon character, as you can see. So some blunders we must not do. First blunder is, sir, we do not have any information of the PSU we are sitting for. Like for instance, if you go for IOCL interview, they will show you a presentation first before you the rounds are started, like group discussion, GT, followed by the technical interview. They will show you the presentation. Some of the students, what they do, they feel like that is not important. That is not important. They will roam here and there. They will see the company as if that they already have joined it. Okay, so just do not have that behavior. So whatever they are giving in the presentation, they will be telling you about their different refineries, their locations, their key members, their turnover. Okay, and you before that also take notes of it there also. And also, so we all have our mobiles with us these days. So you search it on the Google also. So the PSU you are going to sit, the PSU you are going to sit, the PSU you are going to sit for, the PSU you are going to sit for, have some basic information about it, my dear. Have some basic information like how many numbers of refineries are there, if that PSU have ventured into some new domain or not. Have this basic information, because see, now if you are an interviewer, just consider yourself that you are the member of a panel. You are the member of a panel. Now, if you yourself are a member of panel and you are interviewing for your organization, and somebody is sitting in front of you and know nothing about the organization other than the name and the package they are offering, then they will feel that you are not that serious about that job. And when they feel you are not that serious about that job, you are not desperate about that job, then definitely it is going to be a blunder. It is a blunder. Okay, it is, I would say, I would name it a blunder, because now if this happens, they will have a very negative aspect of you. They will have a very negative aspect of you. Now, the second point, the second blunder I would like to mention here, that is speaking more than required. So let's say if you are asked a question, okay, let's consider you are asked a question. So for example, we are talking about the mechanical engineering. Now, if you are asked about that, what is the first law of thermodynamics? So you completed your first law of thermodynamics. Okay, you tell the statement. Okay, you tell the statement. Okay, now after the statement, do not start unnecessary adding the things up. Sometimes what happens, we are asked about the first law of thermodynamics. We start telling everything we know. We start pouring our knowledge of it. Like, sir, this is the statement of the first law. Now, this is the application. Without being asked about it, we start telling about the application of it. We start telling about the application of it. Furthermore, we start telling about there are three laws. So now, if you are asked about what is the first law of thermodynamics, some people start like this. So there are three laws of thermodynamics: zeroth, first, and second. Then they will tell the zeroth law, first law, second law. Do not do that. Don't you ever do that. Okay, you answer what you are asked about. Do not unnecessarily speak more than what you require. Okay, what you require. Now this happens sometimes with other ways also. So I tell you an incident also, a real life incident. So one of my friend went to interview of HPCL. So what happened in HPCL at that point of time? It's still the procedure is in HPCL. If you like previously, it was from Gate. This year they have given their own notification. I hope you are guys are preparing for that also. So if we are there, so what happens? So when you are waiting for your number to come, so they offer you lunch or snacks and all. So what happened? They asked for. I'm telling you a real life incident of my own experience. So what happened? They are giving you some meal packed from some restaurant. So when sometimes when the person enters the room, so they ask to make you comfortable. That how was the food? Have you had lunch properly? So this is they do it just to make yourself comfortable, a bit more comfortable. Okay, because see they do not also want to scare you. They do not want to scare you. They want what is the best for their company, their organization. So they do not want to scare you. So one of my student or friend was asked about, so how was the lunch? So he said, so lunch was good, but it could be better if you called it from this place. Now this is something very, very unnecessary. When they ask you that how was the lunch, you could say, sir, it was very good. Thank you very much. That would be sufficient. No, anything more than that was unnecessary. Now, this is statement that it could be better if you ask it from here. Now, are you trying to make them comfortable? Okay, you are not in that position. So just not do that. Just do not speak more than what you are asked for. Right? Just do not speak of what more than you are asked for. Now, this also, what would I say that now this also attempt of being over smart, I would call it. So never try to be over smart in front of the interviewer because he's in the position to judge you. Okay, so just do not try to be over smart. Just do not try to be over enthusiastic. Okay, just do not speak more than what you are asked for, and you will be fine for sure. Right? You will be fine for sure. Now, sometimes in interview, what happens? We try to seek the sympathy of the interviewer. Like some people is also see. Do not feel wrong about it what I'm going to say, but this is the reality this day at this point of time. So what happens sometimes when we are asked about our family background, we start telling them how poor we are, what is my family background, what was my financial constraint, how my life so much hard work my guardians have done, I have done. Okay, so I understand many people have gone through all these. But now, these days, nobody is giving sympathy on that. This is the harsh truth. And I'll be saying this on the straight face to you. So you belong to a middle class family or a poor family, that is not going to help you get selected. For sure. For sure. But if you brag about it, if you seek sympathy of the interviewer, sir, I belong from very poor family, I have this problem, that problem. Okay, so they will definitely going to have negative impression of yours that you are trying to seek the sympathy, and when you will be joining the organization, you will keep it always. So what will happen if you do something wrong? So what they feel if you are in organization also and some mistake, some horrible mistake is made by you and they want to throw you out of the organization, then again you will start this, sir, I belong from very poor family and all. So that is not going to help you in this. So if they are asking you your profession, your parents' profession, you can tell them that this is the profession, but do not add that we were very poor and all. This is, I highly recommend to you not do this in the interviews because it is definitely going to harm you. It is not going to help you in any way. You will be selected on the basis of your skills. Okay, and they are smart enough to judge your background. If they wanted to know about it, they will ask you. Do not unnecessarily drag somewhere from this. Okay, okay. Now, faking ourselves. Sometimes what we do, we start faking ourselves. We sometimes we try to change our accent. Okay, we try to change our accent. We try to speak English like we are very pro in it. We are foreign. We are coming from America and all. So do not do it. Don't do it. Okay, because see, after 5-10 minutes is gone in the interview, you have to be yourself. You will come out. You cannot train your mind in that way. So they will be asking you so many questions. So you keep a portion of your mind stuck in faking yourself. Then you won't be able to answer the questions properly because a portion of your mind will be there only to maintain that fake accent, maybe, for example. Getting my point? So never do that also. Never do that also. Also, never be overconscious. Okay, never be overconscious. Feel in this way that whatever going to happen good for you. Okay, there are not one organization in the world. If you can crack the gate examination or if you can reach to that level, definitely there is something very good for you. Okay, so don't be overconscious in the interview. Be confident. Try to answer whatever you know and whatever you are asked about with the confidence. No, don't be thinking at that point of time, oh, so what happened? So see, nobody can answer all the questions here. I was selected in BHL, I was selected in HPCL, BPCL. I was not able to answer all the questions. Right? You have to answer most of the question, not all the questions. So if you are not able to answer, let's say 3 questions they ask you from the technical thing, and you are not able to answer them, you say sorry. Okay, okay, no problem. Just wait for the next question to come. Don't be feel ridiculous about yourself. Arey, I am not able to answer any of the questions. Arey, that is okay. That is okay. Nobody knows everything. Nobody knows everything. Okay, now, let's come to the main point. So, what we should study for technical round? So, this is a very, very important question. How we should prepare? How we should prepare for the technical rounds? Okay. So, I would say have the basic information of all the subjects. Okay. Keep the basic information. Have the basic information of all the subjects. So, I assume as you have qualified the written examination, so without this, you will not be able to qualify at all. Without this, I do not hope you to be qualifying the examination. So I am assuming that we all have the basic information who are going for the interview. So that I hope already is done. Now, now they may ask you about what is your favorite subject. Sometimes they ask, sometimes they don't ask. As I said, we cannot be 100% certain that what they are going to ask to you. But all you can do, you can prepare yourself well for all the possibilities. Okay, all the possibilities. So always try to prepare for the favorite subject. So when they will ask you the favorite subject, so how many favorite subject I must tell them. So you must tell them from 2 to 3. Right. I wouldn't recommend you that you say, sir, sometimes what happens when they ask you about the favorite subject, you will say, sir, ask me from any subject. I believe if you have very good technical knowledge also, do not say so. Do not say so. Okay. Because they will feel offended about you then. Because nobody in the world can have, then they will deliberately ask you because their ego may be hurt. They will deliberately going to ask you about the questions that are very difficult to be answered. So you prepare your favorite subject, not more than 2, 3. Okay, maximum to 4. Okay, now in these subjects, beta, in these subjects, you have to be prepared very, very well because when you say your favorite subject, if they are asking you favorite subject and you are naming them, I'm not going to suggest you any favorite subject here. That is also I'm not going to do because this is also very, very subjective. This differs from student to student, person to person. My favorite subject is theory of machine. I won't ask you to have the same favorite subject, right? Right. So you can have your favorite subject, whatever favorite subject actually is, right? You're actually, it may be thermodynamics, it may be strength of material, it may be production also. That is also not a problem, I wouldn't say. Okay, fluid mechanics maybe. But when you are calling some subject as your favorite subject, you must have good information about it. So you must read it out of syllabus also. For example, if you are saying for the thermodynamics, you must know about the engines well. You must know about the how is the working process of the cycle, where they are implemented, and all the information. So you must study well. Even though if we study very well, even though we will not be able to answer the question, so don't worry about it. Do not worry about it. You prepare yourself well and leave everything on the God. Okay? Because nobody can actually know what is going to be asked from you. Okay? So we can prepare well and we can go for preparation of the subject. Okay? So when that is this is what I have written here. So try to learn things which are out of the syllabus, mostly related to your favorite subject. Okay? So when you say some subject as your favorite subject, try to see try to see, do not bound yourself in the syllabus of the examination you are preparing for. Sometimes we feel, so we are going to give the examination with, we are going for the interview on the basis of gate, so they will be asking from the syllabus of gate only. So they do not have that boundaries. They can ask you literally anything. They can ask you literally anything. So when you call your favorite subject, just because it will be embarrassing that if you are like, if you say the first law of thermodynamics, so if you say that my subject favorite subject is thermodynamics, and if you are asked about the Carnot cycle, what is the relation between Carnot cycle, Rankine cycle, if these basic things you are not able to say, then they will see that if this is your favorite subject, then what would have been your condition in the subject which are not your favorite. Okay, so in your favorite subject, try to have the basic information very well and be prepared that they can move out of it. Okay, okay. Now moving ahead. Now, if we, some of the students have the work experience also. If we are not the fresher, if we are the work having the work experience, and so if you have the work experience, also include this in your introduction. Do not forget to do that. Include it in your introduction. And if you have work experience, as if you are working in some company, if you are working in some company, okay, if you are working in some company, so have the basic, whatever is your job profile, have the sufficient information about it, what your company is dealing in. Even if you are in a private organization, so for example, if you are in a private organization, if you are working for a private organization and you belong to fabrication, like you belongs to the manufacturing department, so when you are telling your profile, so have the basic information. So they may ask you what electrode is being used for welding in your organization, so you know the name of it. Okay, you know the trade name of it. So ER70S6 is being used, SS316L is used. Okay, you must know the name of the company or also. Okay, so ASAP welding rod is being used. So when you are having experience, your whole interview may be about your job experience, and the question may come related to that. Okay, okay, okay. Now, if you are a fresher, now this is something again we are anticipating in the interviews. They may refer to this also. So we all must have completed the MTech or be in the fourth year or third year or be in the verge of completing it. So we know we have to do a project in our BTech, right? So know about your BTech project well. Okay, so whatever is your topic, just be aware of it. Just be aware of it. So for instance, my BTech project was continuous variable transmission system. So I'll give you my experience. Continuous variable transmission system. Okay. So in the interview of BHEL, I remember it very beautifully. I remember it very correctly that I was asked about it, about my BTech project. So I told them continuous variable transmission system. So they asked me about that. What is this? So they are very intelligent people also. At that point of time in 2010, there was not much use of the mobile, and right now they have this tool also, this cell phone also. So even they do not know it. So do not feel that they also know everything. Okay, they do not also don't know everything. But if you name something, they can Google it right away. They can Google it. Okay, right away what it is. Okay, so that is why try not to make fool of them. If you don't know anything, just say sorry. Just do not say anything. Or sometimes a student feels that this is my project, whatever I will say, it is truth for them only. So they have this information, they have this Google with them. They are high official. They are smart people. Do not feel they are not smart people. They are very very smart. That is why they are interviewing you, and you are being interviewed. Okay, so when you are being interviewed, try not to over-smart them. Okay, or try not to out-smart them. Getting my point? So prepare your BTech project well. Sir, in my BTech, I have not done anything in my project. My friends did, and even sir, I went to some market and purchased. In India, we get to purchase the project as well. We know it. I went through that phase. I am not directly came in for PhD. I also have completed my BTech. Okay. So sometimes what happens, we do not do anything in it, we just go and buy for it. Then prepare it, then learn information from the Google, search it, and I tell you what, search it and read the information. So when you search something, if you write it, this thing continuous variable transmission system in your Google, so some few links will come. So at least first few links you go through them. You go through the basic information, just make it up. Then nothing else, no else is the option. Never say that, sir, I went and bought the project. Okay, don't admit that. Do not say it. Okay, do not say it. Okay, okay. So what else, sir? What else? So there is something called as industrial training. So in our BTech tenure, in our BTech time, we also undergone some of the industrial training, which is mandatory as per the government rules. Okay. So when we are going for industrial training, so if we are, so sometimes we are going to be interviewed at NTPC, and we have done sometimes this also happened. We do industrial training for NTPC itself, or we are going into the interviews of railways, and we have done the industrial training in railways as well. Now if you have done so, if you have done so, have all the necessary information. So in your industrial training, what places you have been visiting to, what department you have been allocated to, just go through that also. Because if you there may be the instances where industrial training is also getting mentioned. Industrial training is also have a mention about it. So have the information about that also. Now from some tips from my side. Now some tips from my experience of getting interviewed and taking interview as well. Okay. So as I gave lot of interviews and also I take lot of interviews. So some tips from my side, Bida. Never say a word you are not having sufficient knowledge about. Never bring something on which, if a question is asked, you are not able to answer. Never bring something if you do not have the information. Okay, if you do not have the information. So I tell you one incident recently. So I have been into a panel member of some of the companies. So there was an interview taking place for piping engineer. Right. So it was for experienced people. So I asked a person about something. So he said that, I'm quoting this. So he said, the pressure in the pipeline, we get it tested for 10 kg pressure. So when he said 10 kg pressure, I asked him to convert it in Pascal. He got confused in that. He was not able to do that. His chances was over then. Because when you are saying something, 10 kg pressure, no, you have to know the meaning of it. Okay, you have to understand. You have to understand the conversion of it in usual units, right? So do not bring a word. Do not bring a word in which you do not have sufficient knowledge about. Right, right. Also, this is the very important tip I want to give. give you. Be confident at all the times. You definitely are going to excel in it if you are doing the things right. So definitely be confident, believe in yourself, trust your bets. Okay. Now, don't, if sometimes what happens, as I said, so even like they are asking you 3, 4 questions, they ask you in a go, and you are not able to answer any of them. But still, don't panic at all. Just wait for the next question to come. If you do not know the answer, avoid giving the wrong answer. Say just sorry and move ahead. And say sorry. No worries. Okay. Just do not answer rubbish. Just do not answer anything. Okay. Just say, sir, sorry, I do not have the sufficient knowledge. Okay. 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 Now, this is all, beta, I wanted to guide you. This is what I wanted to guide you. So now I want to ask you, because as I said, so whatever question are there in your mind, feel free to ask to me related to this topic or the agenda of today's session. I'll be happy to answer as per my wisdom. Okay. Okay. So now I'll be keeping this slide for 1-2 minutes for you to ask me whatever doubts or whatever queries you have, or anything which is in your mind which has not been discussed in the session. You may quote that, and we'll try to answer that as per my experience and my wisdom. Please go for it. I'll be waiting at this slide for the next 2 minutes. Okay. I'll be waiting for this slide for the next 2 minutes. And meanwhile, I will ask you or request you to please go and like and subscribe the channel. Please share amongst your friends. Okay. Please share among your friends, because at this channel for free, no charges at all, we are giving you so many good videos. Okay. Rohit, my dear, you are asking me, sir, any tips of avoiding getting anxious or nervous? So the only tip on this I can give to you is you have to believe yourself. You have to believe yourself. Do the mock interviews. Okay, do the mock interviews. So if you have the resources, do the mock interviews. It will make yourself more comfortable. And even if you do not have the resources, if you are doing the coaching, definitely as in the Gate Academy we are providing the mock sessions. Okay. Okay, but if you are not having that resources, ask your friends just to sit in front of you. I hope you have made friends in your life. Just sit in front of them and let them ask you the question. Let them ask you the question. Right? Right. And even then, if you get nervous, just feel in the way that the thing is so, like, just feel like they are asking you something, they are doing their duty. This is the blunt truth. This is the blunt truth. I'm coming to your question, Adit. This is the blunt truth. They are doing their duty. That's it. And you must perform your duty. So their duty is to ask the question, your duty is to answer. Okay, just keep this in your mind and you will be fine. Practice. Everything comes from practice. Okay, everything comes to your with practice, right? You practice more, definitely you are going to get success. Okay. Aditya, after getting good marks in GATE, then PSU call from their side, by which medium? Please tell this about this. So, Aditya, I think this has been discussed in the previous video as well, but I'll tell you. So, if you have the good marks, so when you fill the GATE examination, some PSUs call for their recruitment before the GATE examination happened. Some PSUs call for their recruitment after the GATE examination. You have to fill their form individually, right? Okay, it is not like you got good marks in GATE, so they are searching for you. That okay, Aditya have got very good marks in GATE. Now we will send him a letter by their own. You have to apply separately. Mark my words, separately apart from GATE. Be attentive. You can you can be doing, you can be exploring, you can explore the internet, and you will get what vacancies are coming there. Even I tell you, if you write like this, so vacancies or jobs through GATE 2021, you get the list. So people are there who is doing for you. At the Gate Academy website, is the information is also available. You can refer from that. So on that, you will be having the start date of application, end date of application, the application process. So you have to apply in each and every PSU. Okay. Now, Naman, if they ask the question and we know something about that, not full answer, so we give the answer or not? Okay, very good question. So, Naman, if you are asked about something and if you know something about it, you can answer that. Okay, by saying that's I know this much about it. Okay, if you have not sufficient information, if you have not sufficient, for example, sir, I was asked about zeroth law of thermodynamics. I do not know the statement, so I can say, sir, it is something related to the temperature measurement, but I cannot recall the complete definition. All right, but only do that if you are certain about it, that what information, the half information you have, whatever half information you have, that half information is right. Then only do it. Understood, Naman? Okay. What else? Any other queries? Any other queries? So I am very happy that you are asking the queries. So I think you have listened to the sessions well. So again, requesting you to not to forget the Gate Academy channel. So if there is any other query, you may ask me. I am waiting. Just think of it. Just think of it. If you, anything comes into your mind, feel free to ask me that. Feel free to ask me that. Feel free to ask me that. Anything. Anything. Also, sometimes, so I quote some queries of the other students because I keep in constant touch with many of the students. So, okay, Naman, I'll be coming to it. I'll be coming to it. Okay. So I'll be quoting one query. So one of the students asked me, sir, I got very nervous. If I get very nervous and I wanted to drink some water, sometimes what happens when we get nervous, our throat get somewhat dry. Okay, so if you feel the need of drinking water in the interview, feel free to ask for it. Just go for it. Just say, sir, I need some water if you don't mind. I need some water. Please ask for it. There's nothing wrong in it. If you feel that sometimes we got stuck by six, seven people, ask for the water. No worries about it. Everyone know, being a student, you are not expected to perform like a well-established professional. Okay. Now, Naman, you are asking me, tell us something about dress. What kind of a clothes we have to wear? So you can wear a plain shirt. Okay, preferably of light color, not like this, the one I am wearing, it is of dark color. You may prefer a light color, normal white color, light blue color shirt, or a dark color trouser with good shining shoes. Okay? Do not wear sports shoes. Do not wear the shoes which is not perfectly polished. Okay, you may choose to wear the tie, you may avoid it. If you want to wear a tie, if you are comfortable with the tie, go for it. If you want the tie, if you want to go for the try, just go for it. And if you do not want it, just feel free, go like this, no worries. But if you are working professional, if you are having a job experience for more than 2 years, then preferably you wear the tie. Okay, because now when you have into a job, you are expected to be more mature than the freshers. Okay. Okay, thank you, Shrijit, for the compliment. So now, any other query, or can we call this session end? Any other query? Any other query? Naman, I think this is already being discussed. So when they ask you, tell us something about you. You introduce yourself by your name, your educational qualification, and from where you belong. To keep it short. If they want to know more, they will ask you about your family and all. Okay. If they do not ask for it, just do not say about it. Right? Any other question? Any other question? Any other question? Any other question, my dear? Any other question? Any other question? Acha, Aditya, beta, this is not the agenda of this session. You are seeking me advice for a beta courier. So there is a vast domain. What you are asking, that will be required one more session. Okay. So what I say to you, so when you are in your college, I think you will be assigned a guide, right? Any of the professor or assistant professor of your college will be assigned to you, or we must say you will be assigned to him for guidance. So you take this advice from him, because truthfully, if I name some of the project also, you have to listen to him only if you want to get the marks out of it. Very true. No, Shrijit, never do that. Never do that. When see whatever preparation is to be made is made a day before of the examination. I do not recommend it that before you, like your interview is going to happen in the next half an hour and you are brushing your concept from some handbook. I don't recommend it. Don't do it at all. Don't do it at all. Okay. Feel free. Keep your mind free. Keep your mind free. Just do not memorize the things 15-20 minutes before you are going to enter your interview. What I say, what I did all in my life, and what I suggest to all my students, never take a book or something in the interview place. Never do it. Don't, that is not at all required. Whatever you have learned beforehand, you keep that in your mind and be happy, be confident, take the name of the God and go inside. That's it. Okay. Any other query, my dear? Any other query? Any other query? Any other thing that I can help you with? Because it is again very subjective. I cracked my gate when I was in 8-hour job a day, so I don't feel so that internship consumed the gate preparation time. In my experience, it is not. See, as long as you can give 5 to 6 hours a day for your preparation, you will be fine. Okay, because okay. ME098 Vikas Bhatt. I think 098 is your date of birth, right? Okay. Chalo. Chalo. So any other query, my dear? Any other query? Any other query? So let's end the session. So I hope that all of us are happy with the session, and I hope this session, if you have watched it, you feel useful to you. Okay. So for any query, for anything, please write to us. This is our information. This is the contact number. This is the website. So any improvement, for any sort of feedback, you may write to us and we'll be happy to answer. Okay. So at the end of this session, I would like to say thank you to all of you. Thank you for listening to me patiently. And I would like you to request you to subscribe the channel and do watch the other videos. There is another video before this video. This is the continuation of that video in which Gaurav sir has talked about the group discussion and group task session. Okay. So please watch that sessions also. Please subscribe. Please like the video. Please subscribe the channel and share to your friends so that everybody can get the maximum benefit. So with this, thank you very much. And I hope to see you again on the channel.